EA is easily one of the first companies in gaming by a landslide. I mean, let's be completely real. There's probably a reason why they won the trophy for worst gaming company multiple years in a row. Oh yes, and keep in mind, the title for a worst gaming company is hotly contested. You have juggernauts like World of Warcraft, Blizzard Entertainment, Bethesda, BioWare is a part of EA. But the most important thing that currently is happening is that EA finally officially admits, after all the cope, after all the whining and crying and all of those things, that Dragon Age, the Veilguard, was a disaster. I mean, shocking. Who except everyone with a functioning frontal cortex would have ever imagined something as obvious as that? I know, shocking. Please, contain your pat yourselves on the back behavior, boys, because we all knew it. Except for a bunch of idiots. Well, it doesn't matter. And a lot of other things are obviously going pretty poorly. That's probably why EA got bought for pennies on the dollar by the Saudis, honestly. I mean, I hope you read the title while I was yapping, honestly, right?
There's a phenomenon going on in the video game industry of games that were largely panned, bad games. And people are rewriting the history years later, and Anthem is one of those experiences. And the problem is with Anthem, it has one thing going for it, and that is just it. Everything else is...
The rewriting of bad video game experiences is phenomenally high, especially for Slopbox. I mean Xbox, close enough. There is this list of games that Xbox had for 2025, and it is insane, okay? Like, 95% of those games were disaster. And there was on that list, that was one game, and it was shortened SOM. And turns out that was Sound of Midnight. Because yes, by the way, Sound of Midnight, a game that literally had a female black protagonist without a father, because, I mean, put two and two put together at this point. It was a AAA release, because that's how much Xbox paid for that game to be created. Can you imagine that? Sound of Midnight. Most people don't know what that even is. That thing sold 20k copies at best. Probably less because it was on Game Pass. Oh my god, you can't make this up. It had a peak player count of barely 2,000. And that was one of Xbox's biggest 2025 releases. Unironically, I covered it by accident because I thought it's hilarious how people like Mr. Matty are say that game become one of Mr. Matty's memes, by the way, if you did not know, because his review of that game was just, it was chef's kisses, boys, chef's kisses, okay? He said gems like, well, the game is short, but you don't want a long game anyway now, do you? The game doesn't have a lot of mechanics, but who wants complicated games anyway? The story is pretty dull and predictable, but that just makes it faster. He dropped so many gems. So many gems. Man.
It's horrible. The flying mechanics. I love the flying mechanics. It's just unfortunate it was never utilized to its maximum potential, and BioWare...
The flying mechanics in this game aren't even really that good. You're just flying through the air.
Just dropped a dud. That is what Anthem represents, and it is going to be shutting down.
And these flying mechanics are honestly pre-flight patch update for World of Warcraft. It's just like that. It's kind of boring.
In just a couple of days. It is a little bit sad, but it also just gives further credence to the movement of stop killing games, even, yes, for a game like Anthem. But Electronic Arts has had a lot of problems as of late, and a lot of things have changed at the company. Obviously, the big news is that...
I love how this guy, American Psycho, is literally the CEO of EA.
EA is going private, the Saudi Arabian government taking a large share of the company. Specifically, it's been said that the Saudi Arabia's public investment fund will own 93% of the Battlefield publisher. So they will own Electronic Arts pretty much, along with some other investors and such. But 55 billion.
If it clears government scrutiny? What government scrutiny? The rest belongs to the Trump family. And I'm pretty sure EA is a blatantly American company, so the European courts can't even do anything there and like doobie slop.
$1 takeover right now has been greenlit, and now it heads to regulators, and we'll see what happens in those regards. It's probably going to be an extensive, ordeal. Probably going to.
When was the last time anything happened with the American regulators, honestly? Can anyone remember? We have honestly had some great moments in American live stream courts about, like, literal blatant government corruption being uncovered, and people say, yes, I did actually lie intentionally to Congress, which is it literally put you in jail type of shit, and nothing happens. Dude, it is actually so... Bros, what are you doing? Like, these people are literally admitting to blatant crimes, and no one's going to prison. Like, what's the point of law?
Take about a year plus, but it does seem like Saudi Arabia will soon own Electronic Arts. And we've heard opinions, we've heard all kinds of outrage about what this will maybe mean for the various franchises that Electronic Arts owns. In November, though, they were going on full-on damage control, saying that they're going to retain creative control of its projects if the controversial deal goes through. It doesn't matter.
Ah, yes, the deal where you buy us and we don't really have a choice, but trust me, it's fine, don't worry about it, we're still EA. There's still gonna be garbage.
Because Saudi Arabia, who will own it, they will dictate what the company is focused on moving forward. Everybody knows that. EA can give whatever spin they want. Nobody cares. Nobody believes it for a second. Ultimately, though, we have seen protests from some of these communities, especially Sims, where very progressive community. They have been calling it a nightmare for their community, but unfortunately, this is just...
I'm sorry, progressive community, have you seen what women do in Sims, okay? Women make literally reverse harems out in that shit.
How these companies work. That's why a lot of people look at these entertainment companies as friends. That is just not the case, and this is a great example of why you should not get buddy-buddy with these companies and expect that their political views are always going to align with you moving forward, because it will change. It always does. And ultimately, though, Electronic Arts has just had a variety of problems outside of that. We had Skate. Skate earlier last year got microtransactions in the early access portion of the game. We've seen other experiences, namely Red Dead Redemption 2, the Red Dead Online specifically had that in its early access period, and that was controversial in of itself, but EA doing this here is very interesting just because of the fact that you can tell they badly want to monetize this experience even though it's not there yet. Still needs some more work, definitely, but this is where it gets a little bit more scummy. It's just the fact that they're selling
Just now? Just now?
$40 for a cardboard Dead Space skin, and I'm not joking about that. This was in October, in which we had...
Well, the Dead Space IP is pretty much dead, honestly.
This skin specifically, it's Isaac Clarke, and it literally looks like a cardboard box that's thrown on the guy's face. And again, you have to buy the bundle, you have to buy the certain amount of virtual currency, and that's more than $40 here. And
well, I mean... Wait. To be absolutely fair, because again, I am fair. I try to be as fair as possible. I try to be as objective as possible, and I try to, not pick sides. I mean, I'm pretty sure the cardboard part is intentional. You can see duct tape, and that's a hot glue gun. Okay. This is literally supposed to be a cardboard cutout, cheap cosplay of Isaac Clarke, okay?
Currency, and that's more than $40 here. And as it's noted by Insider Gaming, did you know Skate 3 had also an Isaac Clarke skin that was completely free and simply required a code to unlock? Furthermore, it looked exactly...
Well, that's money thrown out the window.
Like Isaac's real suit in the game, and specifically this is what people were talking about. This is the one that in Skate 3 was free for players, and I think it's just greatly personifies how horribly wrong the gaming industry has gone in terms of microtransactions. Like, we can talk about also Activision with Call of Duty. I remember those skin packs, you didn't have to spend $30-40
Activision and you didn't have to spend $30-$40 for something? Oh, bruh. Listen, I'm not gonna lie, not exactly sold. Okay, if there was a time when Activision didn't nickel and dime you, those times extremely long gone, buddy. Okay, Activision is gonna nickel and dime you harder than your grand when she needs to go to the food, let's say food shop.
For a whole thing. It was like $2 or $3 when it started off, and then it's just gotten even more scummy over the years. And as it's also noted here that and it looks like a last second Halloween outfit made of painted cardboard, which is what this the current.
I mean, it's supposed to look like that. Again, you can blatantly see it right there.
Creation and the early access skate is. It's disgusting, but that is what this AAA games industry.
I mean, you got an X-Acto knife, or what the hell is this called in English? You can literally see cardboard here and fucking glue. I'm sorry, but this is supposed to be a cardboard cutout.
It's all about these days. But Electronic Arts just has not been, like, even with the whole Saudi deal that happened and really changed the gaming industry, things have not been going well for Electronic Arts. And one of the last financial reports that they'll have to publish to the
I mean, why the hell would it go right for them?
Public, we did find out that their net income dropped over 50% in Q2 of 2025. Net revenue down 9.2.
Wait. Net income down 50%, but revenue only drops 9%? What? I honestly can't even imagine what kind. Are they fucking doing charity? What do you mean income drops 50% but revenue only 9? What the hell were they doing? How? Boys, I don't think you understand how absolutely massive those numbers are, and how absolutely it doesn't make sense that the disparity between these numbers. From a financial point of view, I'm currently absolutely flabbergasted. What the hell was EA doing? I legitimately cannot even think of a single thing that would even begin to explain this. Typically, when something like this pops up, I can give like a good guess or 2 or 3 maybe even, because I'm really good at that shit. But I'm absolutely clueless. What the hell have they been doing? Now, granted, I can give one guess what actually happened. That previously, in the previous quarter, they had some kind of thing with massive through outgoing money. But even then, that's like, I can't actually imagine the process that it actually is. This is wild. This is wild. If I see something like that on a balance sheet, I'm instantaneously thinking this is fake. I'm instantaneously assuming this is fake. 50% money that circulates in your entire fucking company goes out the window, which is an important metric because, you know, profitability is way less than actual income. Gross revenue is way different. And then net revenue just goes down only that. What is this?
Things have not been going well. And we also found out that last year, we also had Electronic Arts laying off hundreds of employees and canceling 2 incubation projects, including a new Titanfall game. It's all about driving future growth, you see. And the driving future growth is focusing on their moneymakers, which is their sports franchises, and also a franchise like Battlefield. Everything.
Oh boy, wow. They're gonna focus more on making shit like Madden a verse player experience. I can't wait for that one.
Outside of that, they're a little less concerned about that. Maybe also Apex Legends can be considered. Those are the staple franchises. Everything else is pretty much secondary at this point.
Apex Legends is still, I'm assuming, going out the window, right?
And including that does include very much BioWare, which, yeah, last year we found out that it totally bombed.
Dude, BioWare? Finally. The Dragon Age Veilguard disaster, and then these same people are gonna make Mass Effect 5. it's gonna be hell.
Performed nearly 50% worse than EA expected, and EA didn't have massive expectations. They wanted 3 million copies sold in the first quarter, a game that was worked on for 10 years, and
Told you. Told you.
it just didn't reach that at all. And that's why there's definitely...
I told you that it's gonna be a miracle if they sell 2 million copies by the end of, well, last year at this point. I told you. The game has changed.
Questions right now arising, will BioWare have a future? A question that remains in the air
No.
right now. But we also have electronic...
I mean, hopefully no, because everyone who works at BioWare currently is just an activist.
Look, there's been so much commotion about AI in this video game industry. Like Expedition 33, which won a ton of Game of the Year awards, was mired in controversy in regards to that. And the thing is, some of these companies that are openly talking about it and admitting it, these companies specifically, Electronic Arts, Activision, they have shown that how they're going to go about this. They're going to keep quiet on it. They're just going to hope that people forget and move on. And that's what we've been seeing as of late with some of the things we're about to get into. But specifically Electronic Arts, they did sign a deal with Stability AI in October, saying we're evolving how we work so that AI becomes a trusted ally.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Well, an update on the progress of that is that EA's AI game development tech reportedly causing mistakes costing more money. And that's because AI just isn't there. Like, certainly there's a question, when will this technology really take off? It hasn't happened yet. Obviously, it is evolving pretty fast, but still makes tons of mistakes. This is stuff that you can find for yourself out on ChatGPT. It's just one of those things that you should not trust 100%. But these companies are going all in on this.
By the way, this is a great example of why nothing EA is doing is good. Okay, when you say make a maze of cardboard boxes, is this what you actually imagine? No. You're imagining a maze of one layer cardboard boxes, maybe two, and then passageways that you go through. This is not a maze. Like, what exactly makes this a maze? Like, you see, and the people making this shit don't know this. They think that when someone says make a maze, that this is the first thing that comes to people's minds. This is completely incorrect. Okay?
Specifically, EA's rollout of AI in game development through its own AI chatbot has not...
And now you say make it more complex and it just adds... It extends it? No! Make it more complex means make this part more complex.
Gone as intended. It's claimed that the generative...
Make it multi-level. It's already multi-level, bro. What do you mean?
AI tool is prone to hallucinations, requiring actual human developers to go in and fix its mistakes, costing time and money. And more on this is that the problems reportedly stem from EA's generative AI tool ReefGBT. It said the AI keeps adding incorrect code to projects, which have to be fixed by the devs who don't want to work with the tool in the first place. The reason why they don't want to work on it because they feel that it's likely replacing their jobs in the future, and that's exactly what it is. EA has shown off this demo in the past, and the demo that they showed the public is nowhere near what's actually being produced behind the scenes, which really does say a lot about the AI revolution happening in the gaming industry. You hear all about how it's going to revolutionize, change things in the next couple of years, and I feel extremely doubtful on that. I think there will come a time, I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Now,
wait, are both of them black? Of course they are. Of course they are. Why would they not both be black?
On this note, though, Electronic Arts, this is the scummy stuff. This is the stuff they're trying to hide. That's why I brought up Expedition 33 a second ago, in which you have that dev team openly talking about it months ago. Electronic Arts, they're mum on this, and we're having to find it out with these poorly implemented, greedy microtransactions, which have, yes, been fueled by AI. EAFC 26 Ultimate Team leaks and Season Pass details attract controversy. And it's because of skins like this, which is AI generated. More specifically, this is the real one, World Tour Silver Superstars. You can't see it that well right here.
What the hell is
those
this?
Are quite clearly AI generated.
Yep, well, at least the Russian one's very accurate.
Many in the community just obviously very upset with Electronic Arts just because, especially, you know, Madden and such, and also FIFA, very lazy how they've gone about the development of these games, but still charging an arm and a leg and relying on microtransaction sales to really fuel growth. They did end up editing it a couple of days later, and like people were joking in the
Did they edit it? Because
comments saying, enters image to ChatGPT, make this image look less like it's made by AI. And that was really the only change that they made here. But we're going to be seeing a lot more of this in the video game industry moving forward. And it's going to be a lot of less transparency coming from these companies. It's just going to be them implementing it and hoping people don't realize that it's been generated by AI. You're not going to be getting a benefit. We're not going to be getting a benefit. Developers are going to be losing their jobs, but these companies are going to be making more and more money because that is their sole focus. It's not about entertainment. That is always going to be secondary. Now, this is not where this stops, because the AI controversy also bled over to Battlefield 6, in which it's scrambling to address AI accusations over double-barreled gun. And specifically, it's this one. Multi-billion-dollar company EA selling
oh, wait, Battlefield is EA's? Ew, no wonder it's shit.
AI-generated slop in their store, Battlefield 6. And this is specifically a little card or an emblem that you can have in the game, and people pointed out that it is very obviously not something that's been handmade by an artist, but probably something put into the, what of their AI tool behind the scenes.
Yeah, the only fascinating thing about this is that, well, this one has 4 fingers, but it's fascinating that it's not 6.
And it's unfortunate, but this is the thing. You're not getting, like, look, it's still going to cost the standard amount. You're not getting a discount or anything. This is just a company cutting costs, pretty much.
Listen, if I got a discount for my AI slop, I would still be kind of offended. I'm not gonna lie.
And going to be generating more and more revenue for themselves, unfortunately.
And the person that is posting this has a rainbow whatever in their background because it's fucking Reddit. Of course. Oh boy.
Nothing that's passed on to the consumer. Now, this is not where this ends as well, because there's also been controversy over a new Battlefield skin, which looks like it was just ripped from Call of Duty. And it does make you wonder, what is their AI being trained off of? Is it likely maybe stolen assets? That's what I would assume. Some people think that this was a tribute. I definitely don't think this was at all
tribute.
This is the Call of Duty skin. And
let's make a tribute to our competitor that will not hesitate at all to sue us for copyright infringement. Yeah, let's make a tribute for that. Surely best decision ever.
This is the one that's been found in Battlefield, and it's very obvious that they entered this in. Somehow it got through the cracks, but like I said, this is something that's not going to be slowing down. We're going to see a lot more of this in the future. And at this time, it just must be mentioned, though, Battlefield is not doing all that well. I was very much questioning, you know...
Wait, is Battlefield not doing well already? Is it already dead? Battlefield 6 SteamDB. I'll not even share the screen, okay, about this one. I'll just tell you if it's actually like good or bad. Wait a second. What's with the zoom? Jesus. The zoomies. And, I mean, 24-hour peak and 90k players. All-time peak in 3 months, 750,000 people. That's not necessarily that bad. That's not necessarily that bad at all. That's 8% retention, not bad. That's 8% retention right there. Slightly better than 8% retention. And it's been like, what? It's been a couple of months now. 1, 2, 3, and it's the 4th month. Yeah, that's decent retention. That's not the worst. So below 70% user review score. That's oof. Well, it is what it is, but that's not the worst, honestly. Battlefield's at least hanging in there, kinda.
Arc Raiders launching right next to Call of Duty and Battlefield, because we saw that same rodeo years ago in which Titanfall 2 just got smashed in between, and it really got forgotten, and that franchise is unfortunately just kind of gone nowhere. Obviously Apex lives on, but it's really a far cry from what Titanfall used to be all about. But the big thing that just needs to be mentioned is the fact that
God, it's such a good... Where the hell is this dude?
Raiders,
What?
it went through. It has been the success.
Oh, okay. I did not know you can get up there. I was like, how did he get up there? What the hell?
And at the same time, Battlefield is suffering because of that. And you see that in the charts in which it is losing a lot of its player base. And for a company like Electronic Arts, this is the stuff that they care about. They also launched their little Battle Royale mode, RedSec, and that also has not really gone anywhere. I think it proves the notion that here in 2026 now, Battle Royales don't make an online multiplayer experience. It's not an automatic success. And Battlefield...
Yeah, I for one hate when all of these games see something work out, aka Fortnite Battle Royales, and everyone's like, must insert Battle Royale for the next 5 years. Good luck, okay, cheers.
Let's learn this twice now. They had Firestorm in Battlefield 5, that went nowhere, and RedSec has not exactly been bringing in the normie casual audience that they were hopeful for. If anything, it's just pulled resources and attention away from Battlefield 6's main multiplayer component, which is actually pretty darn decent, but at the same time, competition is here in the FPS space now. Arc Raiders is dominating, and Call of Duty also has...
Arc Raiders is still growing, by the way. It has been growing for months, and that's a $40 game. At some point, they could go free to play, because, let's face it, Arc Raiders is amazing. Sure, cheating is annoying, but Arc Raiders is definitely a very fun and amazing game.
And suffering as well. Still, right now, if you had told me months ago of Arc Raiders was going to be the shooter game dominating the online space, I wouldn't have believed you. But there is another...
Same, true.
Other company under Electronic Arts that does need to be mentioned, and that is the one that has the biggest question mark surrounding their future, and that is BioWare. Because right when that buyout announcement...
I mean, I wish BioWare just stops existing, but that's maybe just me.
...was made that EA was going to be private and Saudi Arabia was going to be having a large share of the company, it was like, what's going to happen to BioWare? The company for the last 11 or 12 years has been struggling. The last new game launch that actually was a success was Dragon Age Inquisition all those years ago, 2014. And even then, that wasn't perfect. But the thing is, BioWare has had constant releases. They had Mass Effect Andromeda. That was a historic mess. Anthem was a historic flop. There was also the Mass Effect Legendary Edition collection. That was a success. The problem is that wasn't new. And their new content came with Dragon Age, the Veilguard, and that was
that was a disaster.
Historically bad. 1.5 million sales in that first quarter after 8-9 years working on that game. Obviously, it was marred by...
We are evil gods. Let us now dupe this poor peasant into serving us with money, not our insatiable power. Yes, makes sense.
Electronic Arts messing around with things behind, but still, BioWare was able to make the game. They said they were proud of it, and it bombed. And now they have to deal...
There's so much things to say about how bad Dragon Age Veilguard is. For example, when the evil gods get released, the first thing you come across is a completely corrupted village. So you're like, oh wow, they just got out and they already did that to a village. I guess the world's just effed now. But no, not at all. In fact, that's just kind of like a one-off thing most of the time.
With the repercussions of that, and that has been massive layoffs over the course of 2025, and a future that is in question. And this is something that was brought up in this Vice article. BioWare could be in trouble after EA deal in poor Dragon Age Veilguard sales. A new report claims that BioWare employees are worried about the studio being closed following EA being sold to investors. And another report, BioWare employees fear that they will be among the first to face layoffs after the sale by Electronic Arts.
I love how they only fear it now, but before they did not fear it at all because, you know, it was just a giant safe space.
And the big thing that just needs to be emphasized is that this deal is not complete. It still has to go to regulators, and then Saudi Arabia, their investors, will have control. And then things could be happening.
Listen, if Microsoft was able to lie about acquiring Xbox and Microsoft, and, you know, Xbox then later on acquiring Blizzard Entertainment, Activision Blizzard King, and Bethesda, and saying nothing's gonna change, and when they acquire it, they change everything. I mean, I think Saudi Arabia is fine, okay? I think Saudi Arabia with giving Trump extremely expensive personal jet is kind of fine, you know?
Could be changing. And ultimately, though, this is a conclusion that a lot of people have. Analysts believe that BioWare in DICE could be sold off. According to a report by Polygon, multiple analysts believe that BioWare is a prime candidate to be sold because of the studio struggles over the last decade. I would assume that DICE is safe.
Why? Why the hell are they assuming this? The reason why you buy EA because it's struggling, because it has historically had these things that people care about and they have messed them up. That's why you buy these companies. Bro, I don't understand this, like, low IQ take. Oh, I'm gonna buy this thing that's underperforming. You know why I'm gonna buy it? So I can sell it for even a smaller price for parts now. No one does that. People acquire businesses, people acquire IPs because they think the IP has way more value than currently the company using it is creating. That's the primary reason for acquisition.
Need to have their one non-sports franchise and one non-sports developer. DICE, Battlefield, I feel like that has to stay. Outside of that, though, BioWare's not exactly shown that they are a worthy asset to have. If anything, it's just shown time and time again that it's very risky. Now, this is what one of the analysts said. Leverage buyouts are historically followed by cutbacks in the sale of non-essential assets in the short term. Long term, this can allow a company like EA to focus more.
Non-essential assets, yes, that can happen. But, like, but everything BioWare does is an essential asset, trust me.
On creative risky ventures as they're not beholden to public shareholders, but short term, we expect them to focus more on core money generators and look to get top dollar for secondary IP products, which BioWare, that is exactly where they land in right now. And we also have seen that...
And by the way, yes, surely, Saudi Arabia, the place that has a lot of money and is known to have a lot of money, that is sponsoring, that gets sponsored by a government fund to do this, to extend their influence in these things. By the way, this is a fun fact. Some of you do not know this. Probably no one if you know this. But Saudi Arabia has, for the past, I don't know, like 10 years, tried to diversify their investments outside of oil. Okay? And half of that shit was creating itself to be a courort reservation place with a lot of penthouse luxury villas that you can buy, which all are pretty much exclusively now used for money laundering, FYI. And, well, that didn't work out really too well. And now they're doing this. They're trying to gobble up everything they can in every country they can because they just want diversification, okay? So, obviously, the point of acquiring EA is not to now, sell it off because we want to make some of our money back instantaneously. That is the dumbest. That is so dumb. Like, how do these people know? Like, you don't even need to be an analyst to figure this stuff out. You don't even have to have business knowledge. You just think slightly logically about who's involved and what their goals are, because their goals are flat out stated for the past 10 years straight up. Oh boy. Anyway, that was Legacy Kill HD. 10 out of 10. Bye.